Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Beyond the Credits, where we discuss everything surrounding the big screen. I'm one of your hosts, Reagan, and here's the news. Sony's Jumanji Into the Jungle has continued to kill box office numbers for the last 5 weeks, staying the course at #1 with a sweet $20 million this last week. It has grossed over $300 million domestically, shattering critics' expectations of the movie. The movie has become Sony's highest-grossing film, overtaking Skyfall in numbers. The family-friendly comedy has no doubt had its funny foursome to thank for its success. There are already rumors of a sequel to the sequel up in the air, but how that would garner the same success in the franchise is uncertain. The budget-saving trailblazers of the movie world are at it again, and this time at Sundance. The creators of MoviePass, the pass for near-unlimited movie theater access at the cost of $10 a month, have just announced they want a bigger slice of the pie. They have suggested they can influence their user base's movie-watching decisions through strategically placed advertisements. Because of this, they've suggested they should start acquiring their own movie titles. I'm not sure I buy their logic, but they do need to start turning a profit soon, or our $10 movie-watching dreams will all go belly up. Nick Cannon's next project, She-Ball, is in some hot water. The film, which is set to come out sometime this year, is about a female basketball team that comes together to save a community center. The girl empowerment stance comes at a great time for the community, but the fact that 8 members of the company's crew, including drivers, grips, and camera operators, have filed a lawsuit against them for labor violations may throw a wrench in plans. These violations include not being able to take breaks, not receiving food while on set, and not being compensated for the day's work or overtime. Not great. Paddington 2 has beat out both Toy Story 2 and Lady Bird for the top-reviewed movie on Rotten Tomatoes, getting a consecutive 167 fresh reviews with 0 rottens. The ever-lovable bear has returned with the whole gang for more shenanigans and marmalade. The movie is currently sitting at $170 million worldwide after being open for 1 week in the USA. The film has been nominated for multiple BAFTA awards, so we'll see where that goes. Rob Letterman's Detective Pikachu has finally gained a leading man. Ken Watanabe is now signed on to portray Detective Yoshida beside Ryan Reynolds' Pikachu, as well as Justice Smith, who you may know from the new Jurassic Park movies, and Catherine Newton from Big Little Lies. Since Legendary Entertainment has taken over this production, it wasn't too surprising for Watanabe to make his way onto the project, since working with the company in Godzilla as Dr. Serizawa. With streaming content becoming more common in the movie world, it isn't too surprising that some movies are opting to skip their theatrical debut and head straight to the internet. Duncan Jones, who previously directed The Moon and Warcraft, will be sending his new movie straight to Netflix. Mute is a sci-fi niche movie that has been set aside since its original conception in 2003, and is a bit of a love project for Jones. The movie is starring some big names, including Alexander Skarsgård, Paul Rudd, and Justin Theroux. Be on the lookout for it on February 23rd. Apple has picked up its first comedy with Kristen Wiig at the helm. She will be serving as executive producer with the support of in the form of Reese Witherspoon, Colin McGinnis, who you may know from 30 Rock, and Lauren Neustadter. This is Wiig's first major television role since leaving SNL in 2012. McGinnis, who created the show, has kept things under wraps so far, but with so many female comedy powerhouses working together, the outcome should be gut-clenchingly funny. Let's take a moment to check out the box office breakdown for this past week. Hey guys, welcome back. We're about to talk about our news, but first let's introduce our panelists. I'm Reagan. This is my other host, Fernando.
Juan. And Allie.
Okay, guys, so there's a lot going on in the movie world right now. Obviously, with the awards we're going to talk about next. But first of all, I just wanted to go over some of the things we just talked about in the news. Particularly, MoviePass is wanting to start acquiring titles.
Yeah.
What do we think that's going to affect in the movie world when they start doing that?
Well, one thing is that MoviePass, as you mentioned in the headlines, like it's already, under like performing as far as like showing the profit. So it's still in that like a state of trying to make it into this business. It obviously has affected the theater and things like that, but it really right now spending money on like something so risky of a like buying a movie or something, it might not be the smartest idea.
Right.
And I definitely see it going up, the price for it. If they start like acquiring and things like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up to like $20.
$20.
I feel like when it came out, $10. Like everyone rushed at once. I didn't get it till like a couple weeks later because I knew like the site crashed and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure it just like recently hit like over 10 million subscribers for MoviePass. And there's like an interesting thing because I feel like it seems like unprofitable, right? Like the system they have right now.
Right. So the way that they're trying to make a profit is something that they're actually saying would help them if they started acquiring titles. So they're making a profit by assimilating and getting data from all the people that use MoviePass to help target their advertisements at these movie watchers. So they're saying that they can actually effectively make people go to a certain movie. And they say that they actually did that for some of the Oscar-nominated movies this year.
They did.
They specifically came out and said, we were the ones that made those movies big.
Yeah.
Which is a huge thing to say.
Yeah.
And if it's true, do you think it would be a good idea for them to start acquiring titles? I mean, they don't have any evidence out. They haven't shown us any numbers.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting, especially if they go to Sundance. Oh, that's like very competitive now, where like places like Netflix and Amazon are acquiring movies for like $10 million plus every year. And I feel like if they would acquire them, their marketing would be very interesting. Like you said, Reagan, they were like marketing towards the awards movies a lot. I remember they had like a promotion for I, Tonya where they're like, if you go see I, Tonya, you can have a chance of winning like a year of MoviePass for free and stuff like that. So that would be interesting if they have their own movies. I have no idea. I mean, the owner of MoviePass, he used to work for Netflix, so he should have some idea of how it works. So it'd be interesting.
Coming off of that, a Netflix movie that is going to be huge by Duncan Jones is coming out soon called Mute. And he's opting to just go straight to Netflix instead of doing a theatrical debut. How do we feel stuff like this is going to start affecting possibly theater?
I don't,
Films that go to theater.
I mean, I think there's still like us, like there's still a big amount of people that love to go to the movies. I mean, I like going to the movie experience, but I think, the way we're consuming media and all this, it's changing. So I think that's the smart way to go because I think everyone's watching movies online and streaming them.
Right. Do you think more people are going to be inclined to start releasing things on streaming instead of going to a theatrical debut? Are we going to have less movies in the theater?
I feel like it depends on the creators behind them because then there's some very diehard conservatives like Quentin Tarantino who and Christopher Nolan who are just like the theater experience, make it on the biggest screen possible. Like that's the way to watch movies.
Film connoisseurs.
Yeah, exactly. Like this past year at Cannes, Okja, which was a straight to Netflix movie, premiered there and it got booed. People like didn't like it because it's going on Netflix. But now there's so many big movies, and now even as we're gonna talk about later, Netflix movies that are now Oscar nominated. And this year there's going to be a lot, and I remember Netflix saying they're going to push a lot of money into original content, especially with they're going to lose a lot of their Disney properties in a couple of years. They have to get some sort of original content.
There's another thing is like, you also have another company for streaming like Amazon who not only like buys
Apple
movies,
TV.
not only make films, but also have them be released for about like a few weeks on theater, at least a limited release. And that is what has shown to actually work better. If they're talking about awards, it works better because there will be those who are kind of conservative about the idea of that I want to see the movie in theaters. I personally enjoy that. And you know, ultimately it does hurt some of the movies, like, you know, going into that movie that we are going to talk about from Netflix, like Mudbound got nominated for their cinematography, but the cinematography of that film is being hurt by seeing it in a smaller screen.
Right.
You know, one of the strongest thing about that movie is just not being able to be seen and widely considered.
Right.
Exactly.
So another thing about this is it's also allowing movies that maybe wouldn't be given money in production an opportunity to produce and get seen, because it's a lot cheaper to release on a streaming site instead of in the theater. So do we see this as actually exciting?
I think it's exciting. I mean, in terms of Netflix, I feel like they have to up their game a little bit when it comes to original content. On their TV side, they're pretty solid. They have really good TV shows. But on their film side, you know, they kind of started off with the whole Adam Sandler thing, which was horrible. But recently, they've had Mudbound. A couple years ago, they had Beasts of No Nation. They have the Merowitz stories. So they've had a couple of good movies, but I feel like they've had more bad ones than good ones.
But you know, Adam Sandler thing, it's still, even though as much as they are not good as critical, Netflix sees a rise in subscription every time they have released an Adam Sandler movie. So that won't go away, and that's perhaps could be one of the reasons that there will be kind of that Netflix doesn't have that snob appeal anymore for the awards. Like if it continues to be that kind of a production that releases everything, you know, it's just a big batch of everything, it might not be that, you know, suitable for a company that wants to be considered in a, like an elite of an award community.
Okay, I can understand that. So Apple TV is releasing soon. There's not a date on it, but Kristen Wiig is going to be in a comedy and star in it. It's going to be her first TV appearance since 2012. So are we excited about this? I mean, it's a powerhouse of all these women on this film or on this TV show.
Yeah, I mean, Apple's a huge company.
Right.
So they have a ton of money
to just throw at things
that they could just make, and why wouldn't they want to get into get a slice of the pie? I mean, it's right there for them. I mean, almost every big company's trying to get involved in it, so it makes sense for Apple to try to do the same thing. I mean,
do you think there's going to be too many things out there? I mean, you just said every company's trying to get into it. Is that going to hurt the market?
Yes. I really think that we will go into that whole idea, like how the cable companies are. Like they bundle a bunch together
so we'll go ahead and finish talking about this later, but we'll be right back with the Oscars.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
Do you like sports? Do you like reading about sports? Then we got a sports blog just for you. Stay on my peripherals. That's not fun. Hitting the field.
The first student-run sports blog.
For sports fans.
By sports fans.
See, it's all about the product shot.
Where do you want me to stand?
Don't talk though. I want them to see the whole.
Hitting the field. We cover football. We cover basketball. And so much more. He's out.
By sports reporters. And Meech.
What up? Watch the show and read the sports blog. Hitting the field.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF apps today.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Credits. Now we're going to discuss the award season. Oscar noms came out last morning, early at 8:22 a.m. I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning to watch them live because it's fun. And I love
Same.
the Oscars. It's like my Super Bowl. So now we're going to go into an in-depth discussion about them, what we think about the nominees, if we have any snubs, any surprises. And all right, so let's start. So first I want to talk about the live nominations, if we like them going back, because last year they kind of just did this awkward thing and they just like dumped them all online. It wasn't as fun. It wasn't as like the anticipation wasn't there. But this year they had some really cool like little productions for each of the technical categories. So what did you guys think about them?
I really enjoyed it. It was very much of it like a huge stepstone afterwards the last year, how it was just awful about like interviews, people giving advice about breathe and like relax for like people who just like sometimes haven't even been nominated. You know, like, yeah, the production value for the last year was really much shaky, but this year they really made interesting videos for every category, and you could definitely tell, like, you know, for a lot of people that are just wondering about, oh, what is like this category relate to?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, cinematography deals with light, and it deals with light within that whole video. So yeah, so many very good videos and so many stars. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. It was nice seeing actual people announcing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all like seeing the surprise of, instead of just like what they did last year, they just dumped it on us, and it's just kind of like, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
And then we also had Andy Serkis and Tiffany Haddish be like kind of like the mini host that revealed the nominees.
That was an interesting coupling.
Yeah.
Very interesting coupling. Tiffany Haddish, even though I think she's really funny, she kind of stumbled a little bit, but
Not a little bit.
a lot.
Maybe just look at the people that could be nominated and know how to say their names.
Yeah.
Perhaps just earlier than
prep her for that.
Yeah.
So before we get into the Oscar nominees, also over the weekend we had the Producers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild award nominees. So Ali, tell us who the winners are for those.
Yeah. For the SAG Awards, we had the 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and we also had Frances McDormand, also from 3 Billboards Outside Missouri, Gary Oldman for the Best Actor. It's kind of being the same exact thing throughout the award season. So Allison Janney for supporting, for I, Tonya, Sam Rockwell from 3 Billboards, and for Best Stunt Ensemble, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
You know.
And then the Producers Guild, I believe Shape of Water.
Shape of Water won the best, Best Picture for that. Documentary Jane was, and animated feature was Coco. Yeah.
All right, so now that we have those, now we get the nominees. So we're gonna run through the big 6. Not to say that all the other categories are less important, but these are the ones that are the most talked about. So let's start off with Supporting Actress. Supporting Actress, can you read us the nominees, please?
The nominees are Allison Janney from I, Tonya. We have Laurie Metcalf from Lady Bird, Octavia Spencer, The Shape of Water, Mary J. Blige, Mudbound, and Leslie Manville, Phantom Thread.
All right, so any surprises, any shocking things?
Leslie Manville.
Leslie Manville was the shocking one. I remember when I was watching, I like audibly, I was like, what? I was like, I can't believe, because I had just recently saw Phantom Thread, and I thought she was incredible in it. But she hasn't really been talked about leading up to it. So that was kind of like a surprise.
Holly Hunter wasn't on the list.
No,
that
she
was
wasn't.
Probably the biggest snub to me because I love The Big Sick.
Right.
Even though I love Octavia Spencer, I feel like I could have taken her out for Holly Hunter this year.
She's new. She'll have her moment.
Who? Well, Holly Hunter?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like,
well, Octavia Spencer's been nominated a lot.
Yeah, she has been.
She's kind of like an Oscar favorite. But yeah, Holly Hunter, I was sad to not see her be nominated. So who do you think is the front runner? Because Allison Janney's been kind of killing it.
It's very much between Allison Janney and Laurie Metcalf, but really much the front runner is Allison Janney.
Personally, I would like to see Laurie win for Lady Bird just because I love that movie. Even though Allison Janney's like incredible in I, Tonya, but for me, I'd pick Laurie Metcalf. All right, now let's go over to supporting actor.
Supporting actor, we have William Dafoe from The Florida Project, Woody Harrelson from 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Richard Jenkins, The Shape of Water, Christopher Plummer, All the Money in the World, Sam Rockwell, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. So we have 2 from outside Ebbing, Missouri.
2 from 3 Billboards. This is a very interesting category because I felt like there was another snub of Armie Hammer from Call Me By Your Name. I feel like I could have replaced easily either Woody Harrelson or Christopher Plummer. And I also want to talk about Christopher Plummer real quick because he was the only nomination for All the Money in the World.
Yeah.
And so do you guys think that was kind of like a political-ish kind of move?
I feel like it is. In another way, it's just that I guess it was just so much of a big thing that they were able to just do that with one month. Him being able to just get into that character and finish that film as an actor. But you're right. Like instead of Woody Harrelson and also Christopher Plummer, I think those 2 actors, Armie Hammer and Michael Stolberg, from Call Me By Your Name, had a better chance, were better performances.
Even also one that's kind of on the fences, but I would have liked to see Patrick Stewart for Logan. I thought he was incredible.
Yeah, he brought so much weight in that movie, and
I know.
Such a great send-off for that character.
Exactly.
So now let's get into actor.
Best actor, we have Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis, Phantom Thread, Daniel Kaluuya, Get Out, Gary Oldman, The Darkest Hour, and Denzel Washington, Roman J. Israel, Esquire.
So there was kind of some surprises. Denzel Washington, he did get a SAG nominee, but Roman J. Israel, Esquire hasn't really been talked about that much. I haven't seen it personally. So I would have replaced him. And I'm not trying to defend him or his actions or I don't know, but James Franco, purely on the artistic performance he gave in Disaster Artist, I feel deserved a nomination. He's not going to win. It's Gary Oldman's award. Like Gary Oldman should just come to the Oscars when they announce it and then leave. Because
but they announced it like right before the director, so he has to stay the whole night. Oh God, for him.
So that's his award to win. Even though I love seeing Daniel Day-Lewis because I think he's the greatest living actor. And this is what, his 5th nomination, 4th?
I believe it's 5th.
And if he wins, that means he'll be tied for the most Oscar wins for acting, and he'll become the most winning male actor.
Katharine Hepburn.
Which is incredible. Also, Timothée Chalamet, I believe, is the youngest actor since the 30s to be nominated. He's 22, which is pretty incredible.
And if he wins, it'll be the youngest.
Which he has a hard shot of winning, but
I know,
if he does.
I'm rooting for him, but I'm not betting money on him.
All right, so now let's get into actress.
For the actress, we have Sally Hawkins, The Shape of Water, Frances McDormand, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Margot Robbie, I, Tonya, Saoirse Ronan, Lady Bird, and Meryl Streep, The Post.
All right. So were there any surprises here? Do you think there were any surprises, Juan?
No, but I think Frances McDormand has it in the bag, but I would love to see Sally Hawkins take the Oscar.
Totally agree with you. Even though I think Frances was the best part of 3 Billboards, I think Sally's performance was was so much for that
not
movie.
Having any dialogue in the movie. Like, she definitely brought her A game to the movie.
And what do you guys think about Meryl Streep? I mean,
I'm not sure. There's a lot of political stuff going on with her, so I'm not sure they're going to give it to her just because of that. I know that her performance in The Post was really great.
But every performance she does.
She's Meryl Streep.
She's Meryl Streep.
I think at least this year more than other years, like the year she got nominated for Into the Woods, this year was very much more earned than that year. But I feel like easily she could have been replaced with Jessica Chastain, maybe, because I thought she was a powerhouse in Molly's Game.
Or they could have gotten, Oscars in the Best Actress category normally just suddenly just goes for one foreign actress. So they could have gone, Diane Kruger, who won the Cannes Award for the Best Actress. But they just went with Meryl Streep, and The Post has only 2 nominations. One actress. won Best Picture.
Yeah.
Right.
So before we get into Best Picture, let's hit director real quick.
Yes. So Best Director, we have Christopher Nolan, Dunkirk. We have Jordan Peele, Get Out. Greta Gerwig, Lady Bird. Paul Thomas Anderson, Phantom Thread. And Guillermo del Toro, The Shape of Water.
All right. So I love this list. This
Yes.
is probably one of my favorite categories because I liked all of these movies, and I think they all are very deserving. Especially, I'm really happy for Greta Gerwig.
Yes.
Jordan Peele.
And Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Especially because this is his first movie ever.
Yeah.
So
Right
it's
there.
crazy.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
And to be nominated for their first movie,
Yeah.
like, how do you guys feel about that? Because that's pretty
I
impressive.
think it's pretty awesome. It's really exciting, and it
And
brings
well-deserved.
very well deserved.
Very
And also for like a genre movie, like a horror movie that
That
barely
bended,
gets,
it bended a lot of the genres
Yeah.
together.
that barely gets recognition. Because the Oscars are usually very like dramatic stuff, like period pieces, but this it's very different.
Now the surprise for me was Paul Thomas Anderson,
Yes.
just making it into that list. You know, in a year that it was very much seemed like a done deal for like the movie like Three Billboards to get even a director nomination for like
Yes.
Martin McDonagh. So that was kind of a thrown out.
Yeah.
And so it is a director's branch only nominating. So it is very much interesting for a director's branch to nominate 2 new directors and also, you know, going out with like Martin McDonagh and go with someone they love.
Yeah.
You know.
And but it's also nice to see Christopher Nolan get his first
Yes.
nomination.
First.
Right.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, it's crazy to think he's made so many incredible movies like the Dark Knight trilogy and Inception and Interstellar, and this is his first time.
And finally, he gets a nomination.
Yeah, finally. All right, so now let's hit the big one.
The big one,
movies.
9 films. They could have
Wow.
nominated 10. They went with 9. So Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
All right, so this is a pretty stacked category.
Yeah.
9
Yeah.
movies.
Could have been more stacked.
Yeah.
It could
One
have been
more.
one more.
Do you
And
guys have
who would have
any-
put
do you
one
guys
more?
have any movie that you'd
I
put in
would have
there?
put the Florida Project.
Florida Project?
Yeah.
I know it had its issues, but I think it deserved that nomination.
That's mine too.
I agree with that.
Florida Project?
Actually.
I, Tanya.
I, Tanya? Yeah, I, Tanya, I think the big 3 were probably Florida Project, I, Tanya, and like The Big Sick. Maybe I could have
The
gotten
Big Sick was really great.
Yeah, I love The Big Sick. So the front runner for this seems like it's The Shape of Water. I believe The Shape of Water in total has 13 nominations across all, making it the most. And then 3 Billboards has a lot too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it has acting noms. It has a lot of technical ones.
It
and it
won
won
a lot.
It
Yeah,
won the
PGA.
SAG for Best Ensemble.
Oh, no, not
Right.
PGA SAG. Yeah.
SAG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is one thing, like, you know, it's going statistically. Shape of Water has something that is not a good card for him, and it not getting that SAG ensemble.
That's
and
true.
Yeah.
that is one of the problems with like La La Land, and a lot of people were like, you know, this is gonna be the year that, you know, it's okay that it didn't even have like a ensemble nomination. And we all know how that went. The last film that has ever won without a SAG nomination ensemble was Braveheart.
Yeah. And that
So
was a while ago.
statistics is not good.
Yeah. All right, so that was our award show, our Beyond the Credits Oscar nominee. So next week, we'll be back for another episode of Beyond the Credits. See you guys next week.